Okay, I'm going to try and do a quick rundown of this plane that I'm building to make up for the lost plane. It's basically the same design, and I'm doing that because it was a good flyer, good performer, as some people have told me they like the videos. On this one, I'm not going to do the panning thing. I'm just going to do what I had on my old one, tilt right for now. Camera goes in here, and the little KX camera goes here for the video downlink, and then I have a servo that actually actuates it and allows it to point down a little bit. The plane's made out of foam board. I think most people know that. There's a big stockpile of it right here. I don't know if you can see that. It's from Office Depot, and it measures 40 inches tall, I think by 30 inches, so 30 by 40 is what it says. Right there, it's a 1/4 inch wide. There's 3 of them here. And what I do is I cut it up, and I have a little pattern here for you. This shows I use the full length, 40 inches, and the width I'm making 10 1/4 inches right here. Okay. I've changed up my pattern a little bit from the past one, but it's very minor differences. Here's the nose where the engine's going to go. And I used to go angled like this, but now, because I did the panning thing, I found going straight up was better, and I may adapt that later, so I'm going straight up to avoid anything there. 7 1/4 back from the edge is the line, and then 6 inches back from that is where the landing gear goes. You'll notice I shortened that a little bit on this one. It used to be 8 inches. You do our center line all the way through here. Obviously it's 5 1/8, half of 10 1/4. And back here, from that center line you go to inch to each side to get these marks here where you draw this line and this line. That forms the shape to the tail. Here I drop down 1 inch, that's a 1/4 inch more than last time. And then to give you a little slope for the wing, I make this 1 3/4 inches, so you have a 3/4 difference over about 14 inches. My wing isn't 14 inches deep, but I did that in case I want to try different wings. I can have that flexibility. I dropped the top back a little bit further, as I said before. Instead of a 7 1/4, I dropped it back 8 3/4. So anyway, when it's all cut out and folded up, these two bend in and this bends in here. It ends up looking like this. And you can see the bend points right here. And then it's straight back from this point, and then there's a bend point here where it starts to bend in towards the tail. And so you just crease those like you do with the wing, and then fold it in a little bit, and it bends very easily. The tail I made different than the last one too. On the last one I was really interested in aerodynamics, so I did some balsa wood stuff and treated it with monocoat. It's the first time I'd ever did that, and it worked okay, but it took a long time. So here I kind of went back to another method. I like this foam board. I like carbon fiber rods, so I just support the leading edge of these surfaces with carbon fiber and duct tape, not duct tape, packing tape, which is what's used to hold the whole plane together. And I just simply cut out the form, and it's very sturdy, as you can see. The whole body has a lot of resistance to turning. These surfaces work very nicely. You'll notice too, I have the way I made the steerable tail wheel. Looks like this. I put this bend in it for shock absorption right here, and but yet the wheel is still straight under the axis of rotation, so there's no strain on the servo when it's rolling across the ground. And it's just simply a piece of wire that runs through the body there, 2 holes. Very simple. I made this little device here out of aluminum, and these things, I love these things, so I use it here and I also use it in there, so that clamps down on the wire. I actually shaped these to keep with the aerodynamics, I shaped the foam a little bit by cutting it off here and then sanding it down, so it gives it more of a pointed trailing edge to allow it to be a little bit more aerodynamic. I did the same thing for the tail, although you don't often see that. I don't know if that's going to do well or not. So this is the overall view. Fuselage is pretty skinny on this one compared to my first model. The servos, I bend aluminum. This is just a very lightweight aluminum, like a flashing material for a roof. I just bend it up, cut it out, and then drill the holes in here. And I use a lot of the double sticky tape that's available at Michael's. Actually, is very strong to just attach it in there. Let's see, the motor mount is made out of wood, of course, very lightweight, 1/8" ply. I think people have seen this before. It's just some foam tape to help with the vibrations. And it's just using the nuts that hold it in from the back. I forget what they're called. You don't require access for those. Come in through here to make the nose stronger, because it's going to take the first hit. This floorboard here for the battery is supported by two pieces. You can't see it here, but two extra pieces. So imagine two extra pieces under this that are cut to the right angle in order for them to go all the way down and then just taper up to here and support on the inside this. I'm using Elmer's wood glue for all the joints, combined with packing tape, which is clear, probably hard to see here. Here's some glue left over. The landing gear is quite simple. It's just a piece of 1/4" ply. I tried 1/8", but it would often break when I hit hard. So this is 1/4" plywood. You've got those hidden nuts again, and then just screwed through here with some 440 screws. Regular stock aluminum landing gear. I put some double sticky foam tape on first to help it hold, and then I just do packing tape around the edges, and I'll put another piece here before I'm done. And let's see, you might be interested in the wing. Now this is an older wing that I've modified, but I decided in time to speed up the time in the air, I'm just going to reuse this wing. And again, it's the foam board construction with a piece of carbon fiber rod. That is, packing tape is used to hold it to the edge, and that works very well. On the back, I've found some 1/4" square carbon fiber rod, which works good for the trailing edge, because these control surfaces, like on the slow stick design that I first started with, simply are just angled with some tape holding the top to make the hinge. I'm sure everyone's familiar with that, the way that works. So because of that, you needed the square edge on this, because the round didn't work very well. So that works good to hold the back. It doesn't go all the way out, but it goes far enough. The servos are simply affixed to the bottom of the wing, and then the control surfaces, or the horns and all that, are pretty standard. Obviously, I go into a Y connector and just use them. They're set up so they work opposite each other. So it's one channel for the airlines. I do that so I can use the gyro to stabilize it. Can't do flaperons that way, though. I was thinking about getting a mixer to try that. So to make the wing, it's just, I think I used 3/4 dimension between these creases here. And I actually use a straight edge and a pizza cutter to start the crease, and then carefully bend it up, and it creates that. Now I'm going to make a block here. I haven't done that yet, but a block is going to be holding it to the plane by having the shape of the wing that I want right here, and then the block will be on there, and I just tape around it. It makes it very strong. So when the plane goes on here, when the wing goes on, not much to it. You don't see my mounting method. I do use rubber bands, but it's more than that. I use an aluminum piece. Here's the old one from my old plane. The aluminum piece is going to go in the middle, and it'll be just like that. So these little nubs here that are made out of rivets, actually aluminum rivets, will hold the rubber bands. But it's more than that, because when the rubber bands are over and stretching, it pulls this in to the wing, and it holds it down that way, so it's not just the rubber bands. One of the guys at the field, when I did that with my Telemaster over there, he was amazed that I only had a couple rubber bands on there. They put 8 or 10 rubber bands, because that's all on their designs. That's all they're using to hold the wing down. Well, of course you'd have to do that if that's all you're using. But when you have this design and the wing is tucked under here, and it pulls it in, same as back here, then there's no place for the wing to go. It just takes a couple rubber bands to hold it. So that's pretty much it. I don't know, there might be a little bit more about electronics and so forth. But hopefully I can get this thing flying, and maybe someone else could build one too. Thanks for watching.